Applications for the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund are now open. The Excluded New Jerseyans Fund is a one-time direct cash payment to eligible individuals who are excluded from both the federal stimulus checks and COVID-related unemployment assistance. The online application can be found at the excludednjfund.nj.gov. Eligible households will receive a payment of $1,000 per eligible individual and a maximum of $2,000 per household. Applications will be processed in the order they are received and until funds are exhausted. Applying for the program does not guarantee assistance. This video will guide you on how to submit an application through the online portal and other helpful information on the application process. And please note the translation button located at the top right of the website if you need translation assistance. Before we start, let's go through the checklist of information you will need. First, you will need a working cell phone number or email address that you check often. This is important. You will receive updates on your application after submitting it via email or text, whichever you mark down in your application as your preference. Now, there are 4 key requirements needed to qualify for the fund. Number 1, you must demonstrate that you have been excluded from both the federal stimulus checks and the COVID-related unemployment assistance. The online application will ask specific questions about these pandemic programs and request uploading certain information to certify that you have been excluded. For example, those with bank accounts will be asked to provide bank statements for the following months: April and May 2020, December 2020 and January 2021, and April and May 2021. These particular timeframes listed are the 3 rounds of when federal stimulus checks were distributed. If you do not have a bank account, you should still apply for the fund, and our eligibility workers will be in touch with you after you've submitted the application. Number 2, you must prove that you have had an economic hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This may include loss of income due to reduced hours or layoff, unable to work due to COVID-19 illness, required home care for your children's remote learning schedule, or inability to pay bills due to COVID. Documents such as utility bills or rent in arrears, pay stubs that reflect decreased pay, or COVID medical bills are a few of the accepted documentation of economic hardship due to COVID. For a list of more possible documents, you can visit Excluded New Jerseyans Fund Required Documents webpage. Number 3, household income must be at or below $55,000. What is household income? If someone lives with you and is dependent on your income, you pay their bills and support them, they are part of your household. For example, if you financially support a child or grandparent that lives with you, they count as part of your household. If there are multiple employed people who support dependents, those incomes combined make your total household income. For example, if you make $16,000 and your spouse makes $14,000, then your total household income is $30,000. If other roommates live in your home, but they're financially independent, they pay their own bills, then they do not count as part of your household. Number 4, identification and New Jersey residency. IDs such as driver's license, passport, bank statements, utility bills, and tax returns are a few acceptable documents that help establish identity in New Jersey residency. Note that you only need one document from List A to prove both residency and identity. If you don't have any documents with you from List A, you will have to select one document from both List B and List C to establish residency and identity. The chart can be found here at the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund Required Documents webpage. Now let's begin the walkthrough of the application. Please note there is no cost to apply for the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund. It is free for all who apply. You do not have to pay anyone for help. So when you arrive at the application page, click on the Start on Your Online Application. This will take you to Section 1 of the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund application, also known as the Eligibility Questionnaire page. It is crucial that you complete the eligibility questionnaire to see if you qualify for the program. If you do not qualify, you can visit the ONA website for other resources that may be helpful. Section 2 and Section 3 are a detailed explanation of the application process and privacy policy. Please read carefully. It is important to note information you disclose, including personal identifying information, will not be disclosed by the agency to any other state or federal government or private entities except when needed for the implementation of this program. Section 4 is the primary applicant details page. This is where you will be required to provide crucial information such as name, date of birth, address, and how you would like to be contacted to receive status updates on your application. You can choose to receive updates by text messages, SMS, email, or by both text messages and email. However, you must select one of these 3 forms of communication. You must be 18 years of age at the time of filing. If you are a single adult in the household, you would complete only this applicant section. If there is a second adult member who is part of your household who is applying for the fund, you will complete the second blank applicant section with their information. Section 5 is known as the attestation of exclusion page. The information you provide here acknowledges that you have been excluded from both federal stimulus checks and pandemic unemployment assistance. If a second applicant is part of this application, they too would have to check the box and provide a signature. Section 6 is COVID impact and household income. Please be aware that you will need to provide accurate details of monthly pre-COVID income and post-COVID income, as well as current annual income. Section 7 is very important. This is the required documentation page. You will upload files that demonstrate your eligibility. These documents should reflect exclusion from federal pandemic stimulus checks and unemployment assistance, the economic hardship of how COVID impacted your household income, and proof of identification and residency in New Jersey. Please make sure to visit the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund required documents page. It is very important that you review this section to ensure you have collected the correct documents and prepared them for uploading into the application. Make sure that all your required documents are organized in one folder before uploading. This will make the upload into the application easier. You may select several files at the same time, with the ability to upload up to 20 files total. You may also add additional files on the Check Application Status page after submitting your application. And if you need help in uploading the documents or need assistance in the application process, please don't hesitate to contact our community-based partners that can be found at the Application Assistance webpage. Incomplete applications will expire in 10 days after inactivity. You may submit an application without uploading any supporting documents, but the more documentation you provide, the faster your application will be processed. You can go back to upload more documents after submitting the application. To return back to your application, you will need your application ID that you will receive only after you have submitted the application. Now, page 8 are questions regarding your demographics and have no bearing on your eligibility for the program. However, we would greatly appreciate you taking the time to provide the information so we can better understand those who need this program the most and how we can better serve our communities in the future. Section 9 is the final section. It requires your name, signature, and the date you submit the application. Please note that if someone is assisting an individual with the application, that person will be the preparer and must sign both Section 5, the attestation page, and Section 9, the preparer's acknowledgement page. Now you can click on Submit. You will then see a confirmation page with your application ID number. Please remember that the contact information you provided, such as your cell phone number or email address, will be used to update you on your application status and for any next steps that may be required of you. Alerts will be sent to you regarding the status update of your application. If you are approved, you will be notified with an email and password where you can select the method of payment, either direct deposit, a check in the mail, or a prepaid card. A reminder that if you did not upload all required documents, you will need your application ID to log into the Check Application Status. The application ID will also be sent to your email or cell phone. Make sure to write it down and keep it in a safe place. Please note that we cannot process your application until all proper documentation has been submitted. I hope this video helped you better understand the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund application. For more information or to find a community-based organization to help you with the application, please visit the Application Assistance webpage. Thank you.